Hello and welcome to Spooning with Mark Wogan. We are here in Home Slice Pizza in London's fair city, where I have a vague connection to what goes on here, but we will not dwell on that. What we will dwell on is the fact that today I have a very special guest who will be trying some food that they think they love and some food that they think they hate. And of course, as ever, they will be wearing a blindfold. But who is my special guest today? Well, he's a comedian, an impressionist, a podcaster extraordinaire. I mean, he puts us all to shame. But he's here to talk about how to win the World Cup, because he's got another podcast out. Will you please welcome, for a solid spooning, Mr. Matt Forde.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good, thanks.
You're looking very well.
Oh, thanks.
Now,
You sound surprised.
No. Just for a man who works as much as you do, you're kind of non-stop, aren't you?
Yes. And I don't really feel like that's through choice. I feel like that's just sort of happened. I mean, I realise I have to say yes to these things in order that they happen.
Yeah.
But, I think when you're self-employed, you sort of feel like you should do everything.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
It is the curse of the performer / the creative, because you are a performer, but you're also very creative with the stuff that you put together.
I'm glad you think that.
Well, no, I do. I think you are a proper talent, because it's not just one linear thing. And what you're very...
We're going to do this for an hour. This is amazing.
Well, no. Listen, I'll run out of steam eventually, and you'll have to start being nice to me. But I think what I love about you is you've taken your passions and turned them into your job.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, because if we go all the way back to the beginning, right? And I have a dish here that is relevant to the beginning. And I want to get to it early because I feel like I'm in a little bit of competition here. Because if we go all the way back, 1982,
Yes.
you as a young man are born into Nottinghamshire.
Yeah.
But what I have created from your childhood here is, let me have a look. Here we go. So,
Oh, boy.
talk to
Oh, my
about
God.
that.
That is spaghetti bolognese.
It is.
Woo!
Go on.
God, that looks incredible.
So that is
God.
my recipe. I'm wondering how it stacks up against your mother.
Because you put carrots in it as well, and she did that. She would
Yeah.
sometimes put broccoli.
Well, the Italians call that a sofrito, which is a mix of carrot, celery, and onion, which is the basis to a lot of Italian sauces.
Yes.
And pretty much all your risottos.
Yeah, whenever I make like a spaghetti pomodoro at home, I'll put celery in it.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that I'm doing it.
But that is a very British bolognese, because the ragu changes wherever you go in Italy. I mean, I've cooked ones that are chicken livers, pork meat, and chicken breast. And after you fry them off, after every frying off, you deglaze with masala wine, and then onions go in, bit of garlic, load of tomatoes, and you leave it for almost a day for everything to break down.
Seep.
But here, try that. Get it while it's hot.
It looks amazing.
So, listen,
Oh, what a treat. Thank you.
because I want to talk about your mum, because your mum, she was a nun
Yeah, for 15 years.
for 15 years.
Before she had me.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's the kind of rule with nuns, isn't it? Sorry, you're mid-mouthful and I'm making nun jokes.
Oh, man, that is sensational.
Now, is that good?
It's so good.
You know? Because what in life isn't improved, I mean, unless you're vegetarian or vegan, by a good bolognese.
It's just the best food on the planet.
Yeah.
I just have a little bit more.
Yeah, you can
I
have,
realise I've
it's
got-
all yours.
I can't
It's all
eat
yours.
that. I won't eat the whole
So
thing.
look,
Just
you know,
one-
1982, born in Nottingham. Your mum was a nun for 15 years.
Yeah.
Did she ever talk about why she went, look, it's not for me?
Yeah. Turns out convents are quite intense places.
Yes.
I think it was quite an unpleasant experience in the end. But we would go back.
Catholic.
Catholic, yeah.
Yeah, well,
See,
that's, I mean, look, you know, having been raised a Catholic, you know,
Yeah.
they're quite prescriptive, old school Catholics.
They
I
are
think
full on.
I think they've eased a little.
Yeah.
I don't go much anymore
No.
at all.
But this would have been like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, because my mum was very devout Catholic,
Okay.
and my dad wasn't. So that was quite a confusing dynamic. But did your mum retain a religious belief, or was it like, no, do you know what, I'm done?
Still loves Jesus.
Yep.
Not so keen on the church.
Yeah.
So then we ended up going to, I think we just went to whatever was our local church.
Right.
So she was in there for 15 years, and then we would go back and visit. You know, sometimes people go back and visit their parents' workplaces. We'd go back to this convent in Kettering. but it was almost like, in a way, it's just like posh Christian ball store. You're like,
Yes.
you're basically on lockdown, but in a ball store with lovely grounds.
But I always imagine in a convent there's a lot of shushing, isn't there?
Oh, there must be. Imagine.
What? I didn't
Especially
say
the
anything.
of shushing.
God can hear you.
And the guilt, just the permanent guilt
Well,
that you
that's-
feel for really no good reason.
But that's what put me off,
Yeah.
is the overdeveloped sense of sin. Don't do that, it's a sin. It actually feels quite nice. Do you know?
But then also like the hypocrisy of it.
Yeah.
Because actually it goes against human nature, a lot of it. So then you're feeling guilty for just normal stuff.
I know you're behind a velvet rope and a velvet curtain there, but God is still watching.
And then,
So don't touch them.
and then like years later, you're like, well, hang on. Of all the people we were confessing our
Oh, don't.
worst, and often it was just like, I've had sweets during Lent. I remember once going to confession when I was like 15.
Yeah.
I was like, I've told my mum I'm not eating sweets, but I'm having like chocolate on the side. The priest actually went, is that it?
Yeah. Is that the best you've done?
It's a 15-year-old boy.
Your mum isn't a nun by any chance, is she? So, mum was a nun, but she was a single mum.
Single mum, yeah.
You and your sister, is it?
Yeah, that's right.
And
my sister.
raised them. Look, I mean, you come from very humble beginnings, don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
You were school meals, free school meals,
Preschool meals.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
And this sort of pushed you towards quite sort of rigorous socialist beliefs, didn't it?
I was certainly like radical early on. And I think that was partly as a result of, I think going to church early sort of gives you a sense of like morality and things like that. And I think any sort of early religious experience definitely gives you a grounding in thinking about society and equality and things like that. My mum was Labour in a very gentle way, very moderate.
Mm.
We didn't have like political text in the house or anything like that. She wasn't a member. But I remember about 14.
But you were for 20 years, weren't you?
I mean, I joined the Socialist Worker Party when I was 14. I mean, I left a fortnight later because even at 14, I was like, this is too much. You can't be angry about everything. This is irrational.
Yeah.
And I thought like the answers, they were right at, and I think there's a lot about politics now. There's some politicians really good at conveying a sense of dismay and anger about the problems we face, but their solutions actually make things a lot worse.
Yes.
So it's not always about, but the thing that they get right is saying, this isn't right and it isn't fair. And often I think politicians around the centre sort of struggle with that part of it a bit. So I get the attraction of the radical, but even at 14, I just thought this is gibberish. So I was on a more moderate trajectory from then on.
But 2015, you went, I'm done with you lot in terms of the Labour Party because of what the sort of extreme left turn they took.
I just couldn't handle it. I don't like anything extreme at all.
Yeah.
And I really mistrust it. And I really mistrust people who pose as one thing and when you know full well they're another. And I'd worked for Labour for a while. I'd met people like Jeremy Corbyn at meetings.
Yeah.
And you always think, oh, the kindly old guy with a beard, he'll be the nice one. And they have these deeply authoritarian, like really, the idea, a guy that can sell himself as a man of peace and be anti-NATO and all that sort of stuff, and the stuff that he'd said, and a lot of his behaviour really, really concerned me. And certainly the fact that his acolytes were behaving in the most aggressive way towards people. I just thought, I can't handle this. This is not the Labour Party for me. And I wouldn't, after that, I was just like, I'm done. I would never join a political party ever again.
But all of this qualified you fantastically to do your very successful podcast, which I think you're at 500 episodes now of the political party.
Yeah. I mean, despite my cynicism at some of the people, I'm on the side of politicians. I think democracy is really important. And you look around the world and you think,
I do worry about democracy now, though.
it's so fragile. And actually, there's always that temptation that people say, oh, why don't we just have a strong leader? And that's sort of the myth of the strong man, It's very attractive to
Well,
some...
let's see how that works out for the Americans.
Exactly, yeah. You look at how it works elsewhere.
Yeah.
It involves a suspension of your fundamental rights. I think people don't actually realise how fragile things are a lot of the time. So I want them to do well, and I'm interested in them. And I think a lot of them, even the ones that aren't that popular, actually have immense skill and immense stamina and resilience and go through a lot of failure.
I mean, some of them are complete divs.
Some of them are divs and some of them are malign and some of them are terrible. I mean, there's no question about that. I worry about, that's why I left the Labour Party, was because of Corbyn. I couldn't tolerate that.
But I mean, even if you go back to, we have always thrived as a country slightly left of centre.
Yes.
Whether it's Blair years or Attlee or any of those people, that's where the country has grown. It's been most at peace. It's been most aligned.
Yeah.
But even within that, you look now at sort of the gift that is Mandelson and what's going on there. You're like, yeah, he is what we always suspected he was.
It is terrifying that politics, and this is the downside of politics, is it attracts people who are kind of seduced by power and money and status. And that is a real risk with it. And that's why you need strong accountability from the media. And that's why I don't want to live under a socialist country. I want a free media. With all the complications and problems that brings, you need a free media that can still hold people to account years and years later.
But sitting more in the middle, as you do now, gives you the perspective to sort of, which I think could be one of your favourite pastimes, which is just basically taking the piss out.
Oh yeah, well that's it. That's the thing as well, is you can't be precious about your own opinions. You have to be able to laugh at yourself and your own side. You have to be able to take the mick out of politicians that you would vote for. I always just thought as a comedian, why would you just limit yourself to just talking about the Tories? I never thought, I was like, there's plenty to go out with Labour.
No.
There's always incompetence and corruption on all sides.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing was, originally, if you talk to sort of some of the more slightly old school comics, like your sort of, I mean, they're similar age to me, but I mean, like Lee Mack and Ed Byrne, and, you know, every comic was left wing.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Jeff Norcott was the first
that's right.
sort of come out as right wing.
But loads were right wing. Loads of them they just didn't talk about it. They just didn't do right wing comedy.
Yeah.
And actually, before that, obviously, comedy was very right wing.
Or comedy really worked out well for them, and they became very rich and naturally became more right.
Yeah. Well, one could, you know, they're symbiotic. Yeah, maybe.
But the interesting thing is that it's almost like comedy found you rather than you went searching for it.
I just always loved it. I just, at school, I would impersonate teachers and footballers and stuff. And then I did my first gig when I was 16 at a pub in Nottingham. And I don't think I ever thought I would end up having a career in it. It was just like getting involved in the Scouts or a football club if you could kick a ball, you know, it just felt like a natural
Because you're one of the main performers in Spitting Image and have been since, what, 2020, is that correct?
Yeah, since it came back, yeah.
And what is your process for an impersonation? Because it's, you know, I've heard you talk about it, and it's like, you know, you're picking out things in the voice that we're not aware of until you draw attention to it, like a dryness at the back.
Yeah. You're just listening for sounds, really, and mannerisms. There's so much part of it. So Trump, I think if you make your body sort of move like this, it's almost like the mouth is an instrument. So with Trump, you need to pucker it up a little bit, and the little face. And it's great to be here today, spooning. Love doing it. Everybody loves to spoon. You gotta do it. And you know, if you're moving your face like the person, you know, Blair's obviously more upright, and that does have that dryness at the back. And you know, you make your face kind of,
He'd never spoon.
you know, look like it. You know, well, I think it depends on context, frankly. You know, and then you have to sort of think about how they would construct any conversation about a thing. So it involves. I just watch a lot of politics, which is why I impersonate a lot of politicians.
Well, because you do on Spitting Image, you do Trump, Boris,
Starmer,
Farage,
Prince Harry,
Blair.
Yes, Blair. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
they're all
sort of all. You get a lot of the good ones.
Oh, they get Starmer's very nasal and very earnest. And you have to kind of get that. It's like getting the vibe right. You know, they're constantly. It sounds like he's slightly interrupting himself. Almost like guessing. I want to pay tribute to the work you've done, not just in the culinary sector, but the contribution you made to podcasting. So important. You know, there's an earnestness there.
Yes.
So it's about getting all those. But you start off with like the noise, like, would be like, yeah, there's sort of like trumpet, and kind of at the back. We're gonna build them. You need to just. It is a bit
Now,
like
what's
musical.
What's the initial noise for Nigel?
Frankly, I think that is like, frankly, too much spooning going on. You can't have people coming over. Men of spooning age. You know, you can't have. You know, he's actually got quite a pleasant voice. That sort of tobacco-y bass note that he's got.
Yeah,
very good. For
honed with tons of cigarettes.
Yeah, and it's also, you know, you get the sort of frankly, you know, it's the little weird faces he pulls. You know, so much of it's physical.
Was it? I saw you the other day on Chris Evans, and you were doing a peerless Stuart Pearce.
Oh man, I think he was the first one I ever did, and it's so good that he's on talkSPORT now because it means I've been doing him
And
since
so
I
are
was
you.
7 years old. Exactly it. Here, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's all there. You know, it's picking up, as they say, you know, getting them mannerisms, you know, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, you know, and like your pizzas, you know, you've got your pepperonis and that, but, you know, you can't beat a margarita at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
And he's on the new podcast?
He is, yeah, he's good.
He hasn't been on it yet, though, has he?
We've done a couple of episodes, so we recorded a couple with him today on defenders and on leadership. So we've got
But they haven't been out yet.
No, they're not out yet. Emmanuel Petit's been on.
You know, I was thinking about Emmanuel Petit the other day. I mean, aside from the fact that he's revoltingly handsome, right, very talented, held on to his hair immaculately.
Yeah.
But he is like a French fine wine. Because if you look at him as a young man, not that good looking.
Yeah.
Like really young before he became slightly jug-eared, bit of a mullet, you know. But now you look at him, it's like, I mean, if they were ever casting Tarzan the later years.
Oh, man. He'd have to be.
It'd have to be.
First name on the team sheet, Tarzan the later years. But yes, he's such a man, you think, I'm not really a man. You stand next to him, you think, that is masculinity.
Yeah.
What the flipping
But
eye.
also, kind of, with some of his thought processes, slightly orbiting the earth as well.
I love that. He's got a philosophical, spiritual edge because you make assumptions about footballers. Yeah. And we all do. And we think they're particular types.
Particularly French footballers, because, you know, Cantona was the same.
Man. The chart.
Speaking in riddles.
But you know what? In a way, I look back on that seagulls. When the seagulls follow the trawler, it's because they know fish are being thrown into the sea. And you think, I know what he means now, actually. We all laughed at him at the time, and in retrospect, you go, I kind of get what he means about...
I mean, he discredited himself with the flying kick. But
did he?
No.
Did he?
Loved him.
I mean, I remember at school the following day, and this was like pre-internet. I had to wait to see it on a Saturday. I had to wait for the weekend to watch it, and everyone was like, he kicked a bloke. Yeah. It was brilliant.
A running flying kick.
It was one of the greatest moments of the 90s.
It was, because he was, I think, the most interesting thing about football in the 90s.
How like charismatic and different he was.
It suddenly was interesting, because you are I mean, to say you are passionate about football would be an understatement.
It would, yeah.
I think somewhere edging towards crazed.
Oh, yes. Like, it's definitely emotionally unstable about it.
Yeah.
And I realised that, and I actually think I've got worse.
And I think we do as we get older. Wait until you get to my age. The things you're really bad about just get worse.
I'm basically, but I know I'm stupid, so then I'm fine with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm a little bit dozy. I get over-emotional. That's just the way I'm built, and I'm going to enjoy it.
But you've then very cleverly taken that passion and turned it into working with talkSPORT, which, if you're going to work anywhere and love sport and have a sense of humour, is there any better place to work?
I mean, I just think I'm lucky, really. I never planned it. I never thought, I'm a football fan, so what I should do is somehow parlay that into a career.
Yeah.
I'm just a really enthusiastic person. And I'm very lucky that for whatever reason, people have said, oh, why don't you come and do a show for us, you know? It's a great thing to be able to work in something that I realise it's an immense privilege.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And I think, you know, what's nice about you, having, read about you, is there's no part of you thinks you deserve it.
Oh, God, no. I mean, you just think things can always go away. Life is fragile and it is unpredictable. No one knows you are living.
Well, you experienced that in the most drastic way.
When Forest got relegated.
Yeah, exactly. Or perhaps 3 months after you got married in 2023.
Oh, man. What a year that was. Yeah, got married and then got diagnosed with cancer.
I mean, unbelievable.
I just wouldn't, you know what, you think.
But let's not throw that away, because it wasn't just like you got diagnosed with cancer, you got cured, and thank you very much. I mean, it changed your life forever.
It did, yeah. And it was in obviously in some very, very good ways. But I had nerve pain. I was doing the Edinburgh Festival that summer, just got married. Nerve pain in my left buttock that originally I thought was like a hamstring strain, but the pain was nerve pain. You know, when you can't move. If you've ever had back problems, people will tell you it's just paralysing. So I went to see a doctor. They gave me diazepam and codeine. They said you should get an MRI because you've probably slipped a disc. So we just need to know. And then I go back after the Edinburgh Festival. My wife was working in oncology at the time. We're going to see this doctor that I'd seen, and he was ashen faced. I was like. And I had quite a good laugh with him when I'd seen him over the summer. And he couldn't bring himself to say it. So he said, oh, there's something unusual in your spine. It's a lesion. I was like, right. I just the penny was not dropping. My wife said, is it cancer? And when he said yes, I just could not believe, I couldn't believe that there was an issue with my spine. I couldn't believe it was cancer. And then immediately you are rapidly adjusting to the fact that you know it's in a difficult spot to get. It's on the bone at the base of your spine. I went to meet a surgeon, and then you realise that really surgery is the only way to deal with it. Radiation's an option, but if you want it absolutely gone, carve it out. And you think, God, my life is about to change. And just the terror about what your life is going to be. You just feel like your life's been snatched away. You think, well, my life is kind of, I don't know what I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be paralysed from the waist down because they're operating near those nerves. I've got a colostomy bag. Like the thought of that was, I just thought, oh man, I'm just going to be like a fragile mess. I won't be able to leave the house. I have to self-catheterize to pee. And the doctors are saying, you know, you'll be totally fine. You think, oh yeah. And now these are just, it is insane to me what a small change having a stoma and what having to self-catheterize. I mean, they've had so little impact really on my quality of life that it's almost negligible.
But reading about it, it was very poignant for me because that's how we discovered my dad had cancer, because he suddenly had extraordinary back pain.
No way.
And he was about to do Children in Need that year. And he was like, oh, my back is killing me. I'm going to go and get a hydrocortisone in my back. So he goes off to see the guy who used to always put it in his knee every year so he could do 7 hours of standing up. And the guy went, I don't like this. I want to get you scanned. And they scanned him and they had no idea how he'd walked in because the tumor was about to sever his spinal cord in the middle of his back. So he went straight into surgery, had the lump removed, pins and bolts and everything holding his back together. But, you know, unfortunately for him, he was dead 12 weeks later because it was too late. But, you know, reading about what you went through as a younger man and being able to come out the other side, it was very moving for me to kind of, you know, and it's recently been 10 years since Dad passed. So it's just interesting that we're meeting now, and I meet someone who had something very similar and survived and has a really good take on it as well. And I love the story about you and Alex Brooker and him coming to, because he features very heavily in the new podcast.
He does, it's great.
But also what he said to you when you were in hospital was, I mean, amazing.
Do you know what I often think, and this is like a football fan's perspective maybe of like, cometh the hour, you know, like Stuart Pearce gets his redemption in 96, and I'd known Alex for years. I worked with him on The Last Leg. And I used to forget that he was...
Because you used to write for The Last.
Yeah, I was a writer on it. And because Josh Widdicombe and I started around the same time and he got me involved. And, do you want to work on The Last Leg? Come and write for Alex Brooker. Sport, comedy. I was like, okay, great. So he gets me in. Very similar to my Keir Starmer impression. But so then I'm mates with Alex, and I would forget that he was disabled just because of the way he is. You know, he never wanted any kind of special treatment or anything, and he's a very bullish personality. And it was only in that moment, and he came to. I was in a hospital bed for 10 weeks, recovering, and the thing that I was scared of the most was pain.
Yeah.
And the pain that I experienced in there is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life, and it made me really worry about my future. My dad, who was a nurse, would come and visit me. I would just cry a lot. I remember just saying to him, I don't have a life. I just, you know, there are people that live with chronic pain, and luckily it came down. But Alex came to see me at a point where I was really struggling and I didn't want visitors. But he'd been operated on at that hospital, and he still needs all sorts of treatment for, you know, he still has potential surgery in the future. And he was just saying for his whole life, his body's never been able to do what he wants it to do. It's a constant source of frustration to him. I just thought, here's a guy that's been through 10 times what I've been through from a very young age and had to deal with the bullying that went with it and everything else. And he's just this tough git, as well as being very warm and very, you know, he's got all the attributes I needed at that point. The warmth and the empathy and the comedy, but also this is a man that has lived this in a way that I'll never be. And I was in the pits of despair, and he gave me a pep talk that was just, and I remember his sort of eyes were welling up as he was giving it to me, you know, and it was like a really emotionally affecting moment in my life. I was like,
because you weren't great mates at that point, were you? I mean, you were mates, but not as, it really brought you together.
Yeah, and
what was the key thing he said to you?
I think it was that about it's like your body won't always do what you want it to do, and you have to get used to that. And I just thought that is so good because I'm not going to get back what I had, and I have to be okay with that.
Because that's the other thing I love about, you talking about that, you not hiding from it, being very open about it, is we can get so lost in what's not right. And the simple fact that in the morning I can swing my legs out of the bed unaided, stand up, walk into the bathroom, get ready, and nobody's helping me, and I've had to nurse both parents, who are no longer with us. When that is taken away, that's hard.
And those times do come. Life is difficult. We all die. Many of us get ill. Life is unfair.
Yeah.
You kind of have to make your peace with that. And when things are good and you can get out of bed in the morning, you have to cherish those moments. I know so many people that worry about, when the time comes, God, well, when my mum and dad get ill, I was like, you have to deal with it then.
Yeah,
Don't waste the time you've got with them now fretting about what's going to be.
I remember really clearly, and I was working really hard, creating Home Slice and, working a lot. I was working 7 hours a day. And my mum and a friend of hers came in for a pizza in the Covent Garden restaurant. And I just suddenly had that moment where I sat there and went, that's my mum over there. And she's sitting in my restaurant. And that's the first time I've seen her in 2 weeks, and the first time I've spoken to her in a week. And from that moment, I called my parents every day until they were no longer here. Because you just go, yes, this is precious time. I mean, luckily I had another, 10 or so years with both of them, and then another 10 years with mum. But it's so fragile. And that thing that, what I love about you is you just wear it, and you've worked out that you can only control how you react.
I just think I'm very lucky to be a positive person. And I've thought about this so often. I was always a positive person, and I've thought about and I think maybe my mum will have played a part in that. But I just think I just think it's biochemical that even when times are difficult, on the whole, I feel pretty good and pretty lucky. And that helps you get through.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not necessarily always positive. I can be quite dark. I can be quite black. I have low points. But, as we were talking before, it's like, I am still a cockroach. It's like, it doesn't matter. I mean, and look, I haven't had, by anyone's standard, a difficult life. I've led a very charmed life. But like anybody, life will get you.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what it is. It will get you. And if you're expecting it not to, best of luck with that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's that thing, whether it's grief, whether it's adversity or whatever, what we tend to do, or we're told to do, is avoid it. And actually walk straight towards it, understand it. You'll learn to live with it far, far quicker and easier than avoiding it.
And it's okay to be upset by upsetting things. I'm a positive person. There were times when I was absolutely broken. I was terrified. I was crying more than I've ever cried in my life.
What, more than you cry at football?
Almost as much as I cried when England beat Germany in 2021. I mean, like I get like happy tears, but yeah, during the pits of despair, I was, oh man, I was in a state. Of course I was. I wasn't deluded.
But do you think that part of you that's able to connect with that emotion so readily is a part of you that, because you're so connected to it, it allows you to then really embrace the other side?
Definitely. Because just having that perspective, I think, in a way, I sort of always know that I'll eventually come to a more positive place about any sort of, and obviously that was the ultimate crisis, and I hope I never have to go through anything like that again, that I was rational. I knew it was going to be difficult. I was terrified. But I also thought, well, I've got cancer. Like, there's no point thinking, why me? Because I know that terrible things happen to people all over the world. So then you just think, well, I'll get to the other side of it. And there were times when I was in deep distress, and I would just think, I exist now, but I also know that I exist in the future. And I would imagine myself in the future at a Forest match or at a pub, and I would chat to my future self. And my future self would say to me, I'm in the pub now because you did that. And I would imagine myself at a football match. And then when at the first game I went back to, Forest Liverpool, we lost. I was like, oh my God, it was almost like that conversation really happened, because I thought back to myself in that hospital bed. I was like, we got here.
So you're a man who has seen both sides of life.
Mm.
And just here I have something else that represents
Oh man.
both sides of life.
Okay.
And it is courtesy
Oh,
of Antonio.
it.
Well, it's a home slice pizza.
Wow.
Now, thank you, Antonio.
Thank you
You're
so much,
beautiful.
Antonio.
He makes the best pizza. So, you said we ask everyone what their favourite pizza is, right? And you said sometimes salami, sometimes margarita. So, luckily at Home Slice, the pizzas are big enough. We can do you both in one
so
pizza.
much.
So,
Oh boy.
here we go.
God, this is like going to the Wonka factory.
Have
This
you
is just unbelievable.
Sorry, are you telling me, Matt Forde, that you've never had a Home Slice pizza before?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
I'm about to change your life again.
But my friends have been and they say it's wonderful. So I'm aware of the quality.
You obviously have quality friends, that's all I'm saying. Now, where are you going? Are you feeling margarita-ish or salami, rocket and parmesan-ish?
Okay, I'm going to go margarita first.
Well, because it's sort of a good way to start the day.
Because I think that flavour is stronger.
It is.
And I wouldn't want it to...
Oh
my God,
However, this is strong in its simplicity.
Okay, I don't want to get this.
Have a napkin. And you know about, in a slice that size, you've got to do the New York fold.
Okay, I've never folded it like that before.
So if you just pull it apart like that.
Oh man, this is the best day of my life.
Pick it up. There you go. And you just fold it like that. And then you've got this beautiful self-contained thing that will look after itself. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Now you see what they're talking about, don't you?
I don't know if it tastes like that.
Just
It must taste healthy.
Yeah, well it is. Do you know why? Because it's the best cheese, the best tomatoes, the best flour. It's always been about a focus on the quality of the ingredients. So I could probably have retired by now if I was willing to use some of the ingredients other pizza makers use. But I don't. I use San Marzano tomatoes, Fia de Latte straight in from Naples twice a week, and proper Caputo flour. And with that, you make a proper pizza in a wood-fired oven.
That is just so light. So light.
You see, because people fear the size. And look, as we all know, size matters. Right? but I mean, I can eat a whole one of these on my own. But then, you know, as I've admitted to many times, there is a much larger man dying to get out.
You've got to treat yourself in life, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, it's the 80-20.
Okay.
So 20% of the time, you just do whatever you like.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with doing whatever you like, there is always a bill to pay.
Mm.
Can you pay the bill? Do whatever you like in life, as long as you can pay the bill. The other thing you did that I absolutely loved is your podcast about scandals.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because I'm slightly obsessed by scandals and how it's almost, the scandal has become a cottage industry in this country.
We're so good at it.
Oh, we love it.
And what's great about it is, there was an original series in America, I think it's either called American Scandal or just Scandal. They wanted to make it here. And you think, in a way, Britain is like the best country to analyse the scandals on, because we tell ourselves that we play by the rules. That's a whole British sense of British fair play. You're like, we are total hypocrites.
Yes.
And that makes the scandal so much bigger.
Range of double standards.
Because we completely believe that we're like morally superior. We lecture the rest of the world about stuff. And then you think of some of the stuff that's happened here by very powerful people. So then we pick scandals that aren't, we sort of hit upon a formula where the scandals can't be too bleak.
Right.
Because you can't really make light of really. So our first series was the murder of Alexander Litvinenko.
Yeah.
The second series was the death of Dr. David Kelly. You think these are really not entirely appropriate to try and get comedy into those things.
I don't know. I kind of feel like part of the other thing we're very good at in this country is laughing at anything.
Yes.
And I really think, and that, you know, being Irish as well, which I do count myself, is the Irish will laugh at anything as well.
Oh yeah, and I think that's an important
There's
part
nothing
of,
the Irish
processing
find funnier than someone hurting themselves. My mother, if you stubbed your toe, would be inconsolable with laughter.
Well, that's why you've been framed as like the most successful comedy show of all time. Like watching, what's the old rule? Comedy's when you fall over, tragedies when I fall over.
Yeah, exactly.
There is like a sense of relief. You think, thank God that's not me.
You know, the more north you go,
Okay.
I find the humour gets not in the country, in Europe,
Yeah.
it's sort of like the Finns, for example, really relish in your pain.
Do they?
Yeah, they're like, ha, you fell over and broke your leg. You're like, oh, okay.
What's
I
going on?
don't know what accent that was.
Well, no, but
It's
some German guy.
Yeah, some German guy living in Finland.
Who's broken his leg.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, you're bleeding. It's like, no, that's not funny.
Where does that come from?
I don't know.
What's going on in Finland?
I don't know. I think it's something to do with the light.
Like a daylight.
Yeah, but the scandals.
Mm.
So, what's your favourite scandal out of the one that you go, oh, that's so good?
The one that I enjoyed the most was Nick Leeson. And I think that's because I remember the footage of him coming through customs with his baseball cap on backwards. I think it was like one of the first scandal stories that I remember. And crucially, the way they're written, the writers that we have are phenomenal. So they write for EastEnders and Hollyoaks and all these things. So they know how to build cliffhangers into every scene. And the way that was written was so adrenalized. And the fact that he just keeps doubling down on it, because I think people can understand what it's like to make a mistake. It's then how you deal with the aftermath of that.
We have got to that time in proceedings where I will now be handing you your luxury smug blindfold.
I've never worn them.
We're going to put this to one side.
Okay,
You're going to have more of that later, and I will tell you the best way to heat that up. Now, listen. This is how this works.
Okay.
Under this cloche here,
Okay.
I have a spoon, and I am going to feed it to you. So it is a trust exercise.
Okay.
But don't worry, I sort of have your best interests at heart.
Thank you.
So here we go with your first mouthful. Open wide. Now, tell me flavours, textures, enjoyable, not enjoyable.
Very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable.
Meaty.
Yeah. Any other flavours there?
Something creamy.
Not necessarily, just well made.
Bit of a kick on it.
Yeah. What could it possibly be? Could it be your final meal?
Oh my God. It's a curry.
Yeah, it's a chicken madras.
Oh, do you know what? I just said that was lamb.
No.
I've never tasted chicken cooked like that before.
Well, we cook it a little slower.
Oh.
And I only ever use the thigh meat because I think it's got a better flavour.
Yeah, it's that richness to
You
it.
can take that off now. I mean, unless you want me to check anything.
That was phenomenal.
Well, there's another spoon for you.
Am I allowed it?
Yeah, of course, it's yours.
God, that's sensational. And just the right level of heat.
Yeah.
And the flavour.
Well,
My
any
God.
hotter than that, it ceases to be a madras.
Oh, right.
Because you love garlic, you love onions, but you'll have them in their raw state. Have you ever had, which is particular to a part of France, which you would love, pickled garlic?
I don't think I have. Well, I only like when you get it with olives.
No.
That won't be
The specific pickled garlic, it's extraordinary.
What, just eat it bulb by
Yeah,
bulb?
yeah.
You know what I find with garlic is, now that I've got a colostomy bag, I'm slightly careful because it can really speed things up.
Oh.
So I've just got to just be careful where and when I have.
I mean, has your diet changed dramatically?
Not really. If I'm going to have like garlic, or if I was going to have a curry, I'd probably have it at home. Because when
just for safety's sake.
Yeah. Because when I first came out, I mean, I can still drink alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm not immune.
Which some people say isn't a good thing.
No, that's true.
Given your behaviour at Checkers.
Yeah, exactly. I had to mend my ways after that. But lager tastes better now post-surgery.
Does it? Why do you think that
I've got
is?
no idea. It tastes so refreshing. I mean, I always liked it, and I'm more of an ale drinker. But lager specifically, I would just hold it a bit.
Hold on,
in
you're
the mouth.
heading me towards a relapse now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. God,
No, don't worry. I'm nearly. I'm not that weak. I'm nearly 33 years.
What's my
But
favourite drink?
it's interesting. So all the sort of zero beers that have come out now, right, hold nothing for me because I was a roaring alcoholic. So beer, it was sort of like a soft drink for me because it was like I just wanted to go. Yeah, the beer's lovely. Is there any scotch or vodka?
Yeah, you want the strong.
Preferably mixed together, maybe with some terps and a bit of milk, so it goes down easier. I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah,
I don't miss beer, and what I do think is spectacularly good is Zero Guinness.
phenomenal.
But I can't. I'll take a couple of sips and go, oh, that's good, and then I lose interest.
You know what I like about it is if you're having something like a curry, I don't like to drink alcohol with food, really. I'd want the food to kind of, so I usually have water, but if you fancy something else, you can't really have like kind of Coke.
No, my
Coke.
Susan loves a zero beer with a curry.
Lucky Saint is brilliant.
That's what we serve here.
It's so refreshing. So what, if I'm watching a football match and I've got work the following day, I do ration my drinking, so obviously you've got to be careful.
So what, you only lie in a pool of your own waste, what, once a month? What is it now?
Yeah, twice a month.
Oh, twice.
Oh, yeah,
That's good. So you are going to be responsible for us winning the World Cup. I mean, if we win, it's going to be, it's because of Matt Forde's podcast.
I guess
he works it all
out
out.
the way.
Yeah. But whilst the World Cup is on, aren't you going to be busy touring?
Yeah.
So
I've made sure none of my tour dates clash. That is like.
But I love the poster.
Oh, thank you so much.
Because it's so of the moment. Defying Calamity.
Yeah.
Which is a play on Wicked.
Yeah, on Defying Gravity.
Yeah, there's a green U and a there's a, what is it, Galinda and Elphaba. Yeah, I mean they're not easy names.
No, they're not. No,
but well remembered.
Thank you very much.
So, but that tour is very much focusing on what you've been through as much as anything else, and the humour that you found in it, right?
Yeah, and it's a mix of like topical political stuff that I'm primarily known for, and talking about recovering from major surgery and the changes to my body and the medical help that I'm getting. I mean, it's basically just a way for me to do poo, pee and knob gags.
Yeah.
But
which we all want.
With emotional heft.
Yeah.
Emotional heft because they're as a result of surviving cancer.
And how many dates are there in total? I mean, it's
like 50 odd.
There's 50 odd,
yeah.
and you're doing a couple. You've got the Bloomsbury Theatre twice.
3 times now.
3 times.
3 times Bloomsbury, yeah.
And is it correct that you finished the tour in Chipping Norton?
I do finish the tour in Chipping Norton, the beautiful Chipping Norton Theatre. It's a stunning venue.
I mean, do you get the right kind of people coming to your show down there?
What does that mean?
I mean, aren't a number of the politicians that you take the mickey out of, don't they live down near there?
Well, yeah, and some come to the show.
I mean, Dave lives out that way, doesn't he?
Dave lives out there. I always liked his voice. No, I think I might bloody well go, actually. I think it looks
I think he should.
Good.
I think he should. And if he's there, get him up and he can talk to himself.
Exactly. Freak him out of it. But yeah, ends in Chipping Norton, which feels like politically appropriate place.
It does, definitely, because it's a hotbed, isn't it? I mean, even that's where J.D. Vance goes on holiday, isn't it?
It's so much.
They're all there.
Have you been?
Yes.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Chipping Norton, the sort of town, is normal. It's the sort of surrounding bits.
Yes.
It's the outer reaches of Chipping Norton, which is where
what's the pub, the Falkland Arms.
Oh, I've not
in
been
Great Chew. That's where they all end up.
Is that right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, they're all in there.
I like the Checkers at Chipping Norton. That's a great pub.
But it's just a lovely part of the world, and I think if you are again going back to knowing when you've landed in Roses, if you're living in and around there, you're golden, aren't you?
I love it around there, but I love and one of the great things about Tunny is you get to see all these different parts of Britain. It's incredible. I mean, I'm a sort of mushy patriot. I love seeing the place.
I do, but it is an amazing country we have. And if also, I always say, if you want to know what the kind of pulse of the country is, ask a touring comic.
Yeah.
Because they know better than anybody else.
Oh, you feel like attitudes change. You feel it sort of rise and fall over periods of time.
But in the middle of your tour.
Oh, definitely.
As well. I mean, I know comics who, that gag worked for 18 months, then it stopped.
Yeah. Because
the mood of the nation changed overnight.
And you really notice it with politics. When I first was taking the mick out of Corbyn, lots of audiences wondered, he's a good man, what are you doing? That slowly changed.
You haven't met him.
And then there was like a real desire to see him sort of satirised. So that there was a real trajectory with that. Same with the SNP.
I mean, the socks and sandals didn't help that.
I think that was probably people's biggest issue with him. Was that
mine personally?
Had he worn shoes?
And how does Ben from Curiosity Killed the Cat feel because he can't wear a Greek fisherman's hat ever again? He ruined it.
I don't even know. Like I know that. What's that? What's the telephone song? Like, leave your name and your number. That one.
Straight back down.
What a tune!
Great tune.
Corbyn never wrote anything like that.
No, exactly. And he never wore his Greek fisherman's cap backwards. Now, I've got your final spoon here.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if people want tickets, I mean, are there any still available?
There are for some of the dates.
Okay.
Go to mattforde.com.
mattforde.com.
All your tickets.
Forde with an E.
Forde with an E.
Forde with an E.
Sorry.
Which if you put, because I have to listen, because I'm not a great reader. I put everything into Speechify. When you go through Speechify, you are Matt Forde.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Matt Forde.
Matt Forde. Which
I've
is,
actually feel way more
no,
sophisticated.
I think you should go with that.
Sort of
Because I think that would juxtapose you nicely against Emmanuel Petit.
Yeah, Matt Forde.
Matt Forde.
Metier.
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 Metier
My
Forde.
God, the life I could have had if I was French.
Well, you know, look, the one you've had is all right.
Oh, yes.
You're still here.
Apart from the
That's the
cancer.
main.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Let's do this
Okay.
final spoon. Now, this one, I am going to feed you, and you
Okay.
need to take a bite out of it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. And is this pudding?
Well, I don't know. I can't say. You need to take a bite out of it. There you go. Right. Big bite. There we go. Ooh. Tell me, what have you got there? Do you like that?
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it? What have we
So
got?
mad, not a sort of bready.
Yeah, definitely bread. It might even go so far as to say it's a sandwich, Matt.
Oh.
Is it? What other
A sandwich?
No, goodness sake, it's not a ham sandwich. What
I'm blindfolded, man.
what sandwich do you love?
Oh, I can't remember which one I put down. Depends what mood I'm in. I love ham sandwiches. I love BLTs.
Sausage.
You what?
Sausage.
Oh!
Sausage sandwich with brown sauce.
Oh, my God. You know, it's mad. Even though it's a flavour that you know and love, when you're blindfolded,
Yeah.
is everyone else as stupid as me when they come on there?
There's some. Not all, though.
Do you know what?
I mean, you know,
my eyes.
you're definitely the lower rung, but
Okay.
you know, that's fine.
I know my place.
Take-
God, that tastes phenomenal.
Take it off. There you go.
Oh, man, look at that.
Now,
Just with white.
now go on. So
Oh,
proper bread. Just there we go. Now,
oh.
now, do you know what's interesting about that sandwich? Those sausages aren't meat.
Oh, my word.
Those are simplicity sausages.
That's why I didn't know.
Okay. And
God, they look.
do you know what the main
They look like-
ingredient in a simplicity sausage is?
Lentils.
No.
Tofu.
No.
Wheat.
No.
Soy.
Fermented vegetables. And that is it. Predominantly a mushroom.
I knew it. I knew it. But how come it tastes so good then?
Because simplicity is magic.
What?
And look, I'm slightly biased because my brother and Neil Rankin and I own Simplicity. And it's basically, we've taken a revolutionary approach to plant-based eating. We just use vegetables. But the minute you ferment it, you change the flavour, texture, and the whole sort of mouthfeel of mushrooms.
I can't stand mushrooms.
Well, you're eating them now. Like there's no tomorrow.
I can't believe that. How have you done that?
It's Neil's recipe.
Do you like mushrooms?
I do. I love them.
Am I wrong? Should I
Look,
give them a try?
I think, like most people,
Mm.
when it comes to stuff they don't like, it probably goes back to childhood, and you had them cooked for you really badly, and they were sweaty and horrible and just tasted like of earth.
Yeah.
And, you know, they can be a beautiful thing
I just think
like that.
I don't like the smell, the texture, the flavour, and that.
But-
But I quite like the flavour of truffle.
But however, look, you know, there you've
It's
got,
just incredible. How you've done that?
I mean, look, it only took about 5 years to get it right, but
Not one family.
years of perfection.
Look at it. So what else is in there?
So it's fermented mushrooms, beetroot, and onion, and then it's flavoured
So
to
beef
taste
gives it the sort of.
to taste like a Cumberland sausage. But we're not trying to give you fake meat. We're just trying to give you something that tastes good and has a nice texture.
That's miraculous.
The other half of that is yours.
Very much.
You gobble that up, and I will say goodbye to the lovely people. Yes,
So-
that is all for this week. Join me next week when I will have another very special guest who will be trying the food that they think they love and the food that they think they hate. If you like what we're doing here, search us out across all social media channels by just typing in Spooning with Mark Wogan. And you can also see us in glorious Technicolor on the Virgin YouTube channel And this podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts from. But until next week, thank you to the team here at Home Slice Pizza, particularly Antonio and his delicious pizza. And I will see you next week. Until then, stay beautiful.